I always loved to rummage around in my grandpa's old stuff. So many weird artifacts, old pictures, and the odd war memorabilia that probably shouldn't see the light of day. He wouldn't let me keep any of that stuff though, but I could play up in that attic for hours, diving ever further into my own messed up fantasies. But that's before I found the ruler and the rules of the ruler. The ruler rules, as it were. It was hidden in a small chest, like a jewelry box. I hadn't seen it before, which I found extremely strange, since I was pretty sure I'd gone through just about every inch of that place. But there it was, centered on the floor in plain sight. A small box inscribed with strange glyphs or what have you. I didn't think twice about it and opened it almost before my fingers reached it. To my utter dismay, there wasn't anything in it other than the old ruler and a dusty parchment, upon which some passages were written in plain English. I looked over the parchment suspiciously. Did this boring old ruler come with homework? That's like the worst treasure ever. I shrugged and started reading. Keep this on your person at all times or in the box it came with. Do not measure anything with it, especially not that. Important. If you chew on it, make sure to spit it out in tepid holy water, roughly 105 degrees Fahrenheit or thereabouts. Always greet your new friend under the bed. If you should forget any of these rules, place the ruler back in the box post haste. Don't worry about the previous owner. They will be fine. Trust me, just fine. What a load of old hooey, I thought. Although deep down it did intrigue me. I won't deny it. I'd been a sucker for weird stuff like this since Dan the dog told me about the no front man, and, for different reasons altogether, the zipper girl. Horror, mystery, scary stories, fucked up shit. What if this thing was real? I knew I was way too superstitious to ignore the ruler's rules, so I gently placed it back in the box and hid it under my shirt. I ran down the stairs and yelled a brief goodbye to my grandfather before I headed home to try to make sense of this strange old thing. I don't know how long I sat in my room just looking at it, inspecting it, admiring it. What had looked like nothing but a boring old ruler now appeared wonderfully sinister. All these strange, indecipherable markings were intriguingly foreboding. I researched whatever old forgotten languages and hippogriffs, or whatever you call them, I could come across, but not a single symbol even came close to the ones on the ruler. They were old, ancient, archaic, primeval, pragmatic, and somehow I just knew they had some power or other. But what? I tried waving the thing around like a wand, shouting Avada Kedavra at our stupid neighbor Travis, who insisted on blasting Venga Boys on his shitty boombox 24/7. But nothing seemed to happen. I sighed and just slouched down in my chair, gently caressing the ruler like a morbidly underweight puppy.
Forgot something?
A wheezy voice called from under my bed. I fell off my chair from shock, feverishly crawling towards the door as I realized what was going on.
I'll let it slide this time.
The seemingly disembodied voice said,
But don't make a habit of it.
Who are you? I stuttered.
I'm the friend under the bed.
It said.
Didn't you read the rules? Oh, by the by, you should probably go comfort your mom.
What was all I could muster? What? Why?
Your dear old grandpappy is dead, kiddo, like one of them doornails.
It chuckled.
Better go make her feel better. Wouldn't admit it's your fault, though. Not sure how sweet mommy would take that.
I quickly scrambled to my feet and threw open the door, running hysterically into the living room, only to find my mom sobbing inconsolably on the floor, gripping the phone tightly in her right hand. Mom, I asked, what's wrong? Oh, baby, she whimpered. It's your grandfather. He is dead. I couldn't believe it. Some kind of twisted joke, surely. Pruny middle-aged moms pull those all the time, right? Just a prank, bro, all like. But no, it wasn't. It was true. He'd been taking a walk soon after I left, up the trail to the pronged point where he'd been mauled to death by a mountain lion. Weird thing is, it was the only registered mountain lion in the area to this date. Some freak accident. I tried my best to comfort my mom, but she was in total shambles. And I knew, deep down I knew it was all my fault. As I was sitting there, cradling my own devastated mother, a sudden realization hit me. The ruler. The ruler's rules. I didn't have the ruler on me. I threw my sobbing mom aside in a fit of adrenaline-fueled panic and bolted to the room, pouncing at the ruler still lying on my desk. I was mere seconds from putting it back in the box when I was interrupted.
Forgot something again?
The wheezy voice called. I turned around. It didn't come from under the bed this time. It came from my door. It came from the unsteady body of my mom, swaying back and forth in my doorway. Only it wasn't her anymore. She had this horribly warped smile on her face, and her lips were black like a demon's unwashed armpit. She held a kitchen knife to her own throat and could spot a few droplets of blood trickling down her neck. Mom, I asked sheepishly. What's, going on?
I ain't your mom, kid,
It said.
But you know that. You messed up the rules again, bucko. Thrice now. Can't have that. Need to set things straight.
It slowly started carving into the neck with the knife. I could see the droplets of blood multiplying, forming small streams as the knife made its way to the other side. No, I yelled, and quickly grabbed the box from under the desk.
Look, kid,
It said, a suspicious hint of anxiety in its voice, before dropping the knife to the floor limply.
I'll leave her alone, yeah? Bygones and all that, you know. Just don't put the fucking thing back in the box.
Screw you, I yelled, as I rammed the thing down the box as hard as I could. Like magic, really dark fucking magic, I guess. My mom collapsed on the floor the moment I closed the lid, eyes rolling back into her head all freaky-like. Not quite knowing what was the appropriate medical response, I resorted to dragging her to the living room couch and left her kinda hanging over the edge of it. When she came to a couple hours later, I explained to her that she probably suffered a mental breakdown because of all the stress or something. I've never told her what happened. The truth, I mean, and I never will. Look, I don't pretend to understand anything that happened that day, but I know it had something to do with that box, with that ruler, with the ruler's rules. My mom slowly recovered from all the weird shit, and things soon got back to normal. That's life, you know. But as soon as I got the chance, I buried that box deep, real deep. Well, as deep as I could imagine, which I guess was about 20 inches or thereabouts. The years passed by, and eventually a great big bush grew over the box. I'm no bush lover, of the plant-like variety, I mean, but it had some pretty big leaves and always smelled faintly of week-old magazines left in the waiting room of a dentist's office. I don't know how that works, but there you have it. I suppose that's the reason why I'm writing this today. Nostalgia, I mean, or an all consuming sensation of unfiltered dread. One of the two, for sure. I just want my story to be known as a warning, perhaps, an epitaph of sorts, I fear. I woke up this morning and there was a big old hole in the ground where the bush once stood, and the box was nowhere to be seen.
Holy shit.
And the box was nowhere to be seen.